Hi, and welcome to Code Tutorials. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the rating block, one of the blocks from our key blocks for Gutenberg Premium plugin. At the moment, we're on a page that shows different examples of how the rating block can be used and styled. The rating block is this part with the star icons. It's fully independent of other elements, so you can easily add it to anything you like: featured products, service descriptions, banners, whatever you come up with. As with all the blocks in the key blocks for Gutenberg collection, you can combine the rating with any of the other elements to create whatever design you imagine. The rating block allows you to pick what kind of icon you'd like to use. Then, using the multitude of available style options, you can adjust your chosen icon to fit with your overall style and site design. So, let's take a look at what specific options we get with this block. Over in the back end, I prepared a page that I will be working in. You can see already I put some content here. It's to give some context to the rating blocks I'll be adding. And as far as adding blocks is concerned, you can do that from here. This opens a complete overview of all the blocks you have on your site. So everything Gutenberg has, as well as anything you may have installed separately, such as the key blocks for Gutenberg. The key blocks are easily recognizable by their reddish-pink icon color. At the top, you'll see the premium blocks, and under them you'll find the free ones. So you can select the block you want from here and drag it over to the page. Or you can add them from the page. That's what I'll be doing, as I have a structure in mind for my content. That structure involves the use of an image. I added this using the single image block, another one of the blocks in the key blocks for Gutenberg collection. Then I added this title using the advanced text block, also from key blocks. So I have the image, then the text, and now I'll just press enter on my keyboard, and there, I've made room for a new block. And then I can select which block I want by clicking on this plus sign button. As the rating block is not immediately visible, I'll search for it. And there, click to select. By default, the block looks like this. We have star icons from the media library, and the rating is half-filled or placed at 2.5 stars. When we want to begin working on it, we'll start from the Content tab. Here we'll find options like the layout. It can be standard, the one we see on the left, or it can be split. I'll stick with standard as we go through the block options, but I'll enable the split layout later on in the video so we can see what it might look like. Okay, the next option is for adjusting the rating fill, or quantity, however you like to think of it. By dragging this slider, I can adjust what percentage of the stars will be filled in. You can even show fractional fill. At 76%, we can see that the fourth star has this bit that's still light gray. So you can drag the slider, or you can input a value here. I'll type in 80, and then the first 4 stars will be completely filled. Then, after that, we have the field where we can select the marked icon. This is where you can pick what icon you want to use in your rating element. Please note, the icon needs to be in SVG format in order to display properly. And underneath the field for the marked icon, we also have the field for the unmarked icon. This is because you actually upload 2 icons for your rating, and they are layered in the page display, the marked over the unmarked. That's how we get the filled and unfilled look. We reveal more or less of the marked icons, and we set different colors for each to make the rating fill noticeable. By default, the unmarked stars are light gray and the marked ones are black. You'll be able to change that, of course, in the style options. For now, I want to show you how the icon selection works. You can insert a URL, upload an SVG, or choose one from your media library. I plan to keep the default icon look, but as I wanted to show you how the option works, I added the default icon to my media library so we can simply go through the steps now. I'll open the media library, and there's the star icon I want. Select. Now, as I'm using the same icon, there's no visible change on the left, but you can see your selection among the options here on the right. And now I'll do the same thing for the unmarked icon. As I mentioned earlier, the icons are overlapped in the display on the page. What that means is that in both the marked and unmarked fields, you need to pick icons that have the same dimensions, so that they would fit neatly one over the other. So I'll use the exact same icon here as well. Select. Okay. Underneath that, we have this advanced section which contains only one option. The additional CSS classes option is used to create a specific class for this element, and then you can use that class and refer to your element when creating CSS that would style it. And those were all the options we had in the Content tab. Let's move on to the Style tab. In here, we can set the horizontal alignment. We can see that by default, it's set on the left. We can move it to the right or put it in the center. This is where I'll keep my rating. And then we have the spacing icon. With it, we can space out the individual star icons as you can see here. I'm going to set 2 pixels for it. Okay. With icon size, you can increase or decrease the size of the stars. For the value here, I'll set 22 pixels. There, that looks quite nice. After that, we have the marked icon color. With it, we can change the color of the stars showing the rating, the filled ones so to say. You can use the slider to set your color, or you can click here to make the input field editable and enter a hex code. I'll do the latter and set a code that will make my stars just a shade away from black. There, perfect. And next to that, we have the unmarked color option, which serves to adjust the color of the remaining unfilled stars. Again, I'm going to add a hex code in order to get a lighter shade of gray than the default one. Alright, and that's it. Underneath this, we can see the same advanced section from before. You can access the additional CSS classes option either from here or from the previous tab. It makes no difference. Now, we covered all the relevant options, but I do owe you a look at the split rating layout. So, if we go back to the Content tab and switch the setting to split, there is no immediate change either on the page or in the options. But if we look at the Style tab, we'll find a new option there, the icon split size. This option is a lot like the icon size above it, but this applies just to the unmarked icon. So we can adjust the size of this star separately. When I start to move the slider, you can see how the star icon changes its size. And that's how you can create a split-looking layout. Okay, I'll clear this and switch the layout back to standard as that is the one I want to use for my chosen design. Perfect. We are nearly done. I only want to briefly explain the last tab we have in the options. The Advanced tab is something you get with every single one of the key blocks for Gutenberg. The options here serve to set how an individual block will look and act on the page in terms of, for example, responsiveness, motion effects, and so on. While these options are undoubtedly useful as they can help you adjust the block positioning, background, border, and more, they affect blocks as a whole. They aren't specific to the rating blocks, so we won't be covering them in this tutorial. This means my element is done. And since I have several more products that I want to show the rating for, I'll go back to my block, click here to reveal additional options, and go to duplicate. Then I can drag this copy of my finished element wherever I want it to be. And in seconds, I can have a bunch more rating blocks without having to create them from scratch. Of course, if you like, you can style these ratings differently. That's what I'll do with the last two. I don't plan on a big difference, simply a change in color. Both the marked, give me a second, and the unmarked too. Just a moment while I enter the appropriate hex code. Alright, there. And now I can duplicate this version of the rating block and add it to my final product. And I'm done. Let me hit update to save my work. Now we can see how the finished design for the rating block looks in the context provided by the other section elements such as images and text. The icons and style settings I wanted are all here, and the complete section fits the design I had in mind. If you need any more design inspiration or an idea for how to use this block, you can take a look at the page we started from. At the very top, you'll see the design I chose to copy for this tutorial. However, this page has all kinds of design variations that you can mirror or use as a base to build on. The important thing is that you now know what options you get with this block and how they work. So you can set up ratings on your site in a matter of moments. Ultimately, we hope you found this tutorial on the rating block from the Key Blocks for Gutenberg Premium plugin helpful. If you have any questions after watching this video, or comments or suggestions you'd like to make, please drop us a line in the comments below. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel and be the first to learn about any new tutorials and theme guides. Thank you for watching.